Are you struggling with video editing? Editing videos can feel like an endless struggle. Clips pile up, slides need to be perfect, and then there are those awkward, empty spaces. If this sounds all too familiar, stick around because I was just like you until I found the jewel that changed everything. Overwhelmed by clip after clip after clip, I thought more footage was the answer, and my timeline was a mess. I was doing it all wrong. The secret isn't in the quantity of clips, but in mastering the art of one take with strategic cuts. Every time you hit record, that entire thing that you record could encapsulate every single thing that you want in the video. It's not about getting one clip perfect or doing 1,000 clips where maybe 90% of them are perfect, but it's just about capturing most of what you need in a single clip. Then you can cut it up after the fact, and it's a lot easier that way. There's actually tools that you can use to pre-process it before you even get to cutting that might remove all those things that you're worried about showing up in the video anyway. All you have to do is just record once. Just make sure that you hit every beat you're trying to hit that one time, and then clipping it after the fact in post-production won't involve splicing together a bunch of different clips, but instead just trimming down the fat on everything that you've recorded in that one clip. By focusing on fewer takes and using multiple cuts in post-production, my editing process became so much smoother. This method not only streamlined my workflow, but also gave me a clearer narrative, saving heaps of time in editing. Are you also struggling with slide injections? Maybe you have some text or a graph that you want to show on the screen at some point in your video. Sure, you can put that in post-production and maybe while you're recording also be like envisioning what it's going to be like when you bring a file in or show an image or transition. I used to do it manually, which was a massive headache. The better way is to use Code and Remotion. With Claude Code and Remotion, my slide injection process became almost automatic. No more tedious manual placements. This change not only saved time, but also improved the quality of slide transitions, making my videos look way more professional. I almost did not include how any of that was done. So we're looking at the video right now. We're in post-production. What I did here is, I just asked Claude Code, can you use Remotion skill to edit where my asset is, some video in here, as we want to demonstrate that we can apply any coding-based edits to a video. Like I'm saying, I speak to it like I'm kind of a dummy. I said that we can apply any coding-based edits to a video. And I mean any. In code, it's very easy to generate animations that do something kind of standard, like geometrically. It might be the increase of a graph size or like the unfolding of a bar chart or a pie chart or a warp where one thing goes from one location to another location. Those things are very easy. And if you're a web developer, you know that you can just like use keyframes to define where something will be at one moment in some. You pass in a little more information to get to another moment. And if you're a vibe coder, you know that code is capable of doing these things you ask, or Claude is capable of generating code that you ask for. Same with cursor, same with codecs. So what I did here is I just asked it, like, I'm trying to do a demonstration right here. Can you do this stuff? So then I zoom out, and then this is the Remotion dashboard, what we're looking at right there. And then like there was a cut that I had made so that like it took a little time. But once that happened, I just did one pass through to check that it did what I wanted, and it did it. Are you battling with empty spaces? Let's talk about it. They were the bane of my editing process. Those awkward pauses that ruin the flow. Just trim a little bit over here, trim a little bit over there. Don't like doing that. I stumbled upon this project in GitHub called Auto Editor. Using Auto Editor, those empty spaces vanished like magic, leaving my videos smooth and seamless. This tool drastically reduced editing time and enhanced the viewer experience, making everything so much more engaging. Plus, stack this on top of one cut, you're able to make that one cut super concise, and then you can cut it after the fact. Thanks for sticking around. These tips transform my editing process, and they can do the same for you. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button for more content like this. I'm going to do a little recap just so that we're clear about what the takeaways are. The first takeaway is trying to do one cut. Doing one cut has this massive benefit of being able to process a single file programmatically to cut out a bunch of empty space. By empty space, I mean parts that have no sound. And the key to making this work is getting comfortable recording yourself and not having the perfect raw footage. You're going to clean it all up in post-production anyway. So when you do clip after clip after clip after clip, and you end up having to paste all those together. It's like a puzzle. You don't want to do that. It's much preferred to just like try it. You'll probably get it wrong, and then try the exact same beat again. What do I mean by beat? When you're doing these clips, you're telling a story, really. So you hit a beat, like make it all one clip. That beat, I'm gonna like maybe have some takeaways, what the old way was, yada, yada, yada. If I get that correct, like in post-production, I'm gonna take the one that's correct. But if I had to try 5 times and it's in the same clip, deleting that clip is so much easier. Trimming it down is so much easier than like trying to find where the correct clip was if they're all being saved to the same location. So that's like step number 1. Just make sure 100% of the beats are hit in a single clip, even though maybe you'll repunch in again and like tidy it up a little bit. It's good to have that like first like canvas, your background set up by doing one cut. The second takeaway I wanted to do involves Claude Code. So you use Claude Code in this instance to do some editing. How do we do that editing? We leverage a tool called Remotion. What does Remotion do? Remotion allows us to programmatically, let's just look at it. So when we look at it right here, this video isn't very spectacular on its own, but we see like code-driven video, Potatoes Studio demo. That's literally all written code somewhere. I asked Claude to write code that does that, and now here we have it, Potatoes Studio demo, code-driven video. So it also like can slide transition in that little card at the bottom, and then in the top right we should see like a graph pulls up, transitions, charts, slideshows, graphics. In the end, there's like this one's kind of lame, but it was a single pass, a single request, and all of this stuff was added to this video. You can only imagine what happens when you like work with it. You're like, all right, put this in the top left corner, put this in the bottom right corner. All that's possible with Claude Code using Remotion. That's a skill, and by skill, we mean something that Claude Code can use. It's a tool, something that it can reuse over and over. So Auto Editor is a tool that earlier in the video I showed a 30-second video. I think it got trimmed down to 16 seconds. And I recorded a 30-second video of me saying some abrupt pauses, and then talking. Auto Editor will eliminate all those pauses from an audio file. So if you have a big, long 30-minute clip of you talking, stopping, trying to get that perfect take of the beat you're on, this will eliminate all of the empty noise within Programmatically. It'll automatically grab all of that sound data and say, oh, this is not beyond the threshold of speaking. We're going to cut it out. All right. You might be like, well, what if it cuts me off where I don't want it to? I just lost that data. You can tweak the parameters such that, and you tell Claude Code to do this. You say, give me like 200 milliseconds of padding on either side of beginning speaking or after speaking, so you can have somewhat of a natural pause and improve your transitions. Auto Editor will allow you to do this. So it even describes this idea of like margins. I said padding. I think technically you'd call them margins here. You can say like, what is the decibel amount that if that one is not exceeded, if that decibel threshold is not exceeded, eliminate it. So it makes this really powerful for like right before you start editing to just get like a huge like it just does a pass over your whole video project and does a great job. So that we had Auto Editor, Remotion, and one take. Those are the 3 major takeaways. But after I had made the video, I realized like how like vast CapCut's toolkit is. The things that I explored today were the stickers. These stickers like these arrows, super useful. Like I thought I was gonna have to, honestly, I thought I was gonna have to use Remotion to do that. And then like, so Remotion's great, but if I can't like drag the item on the video and then watch the video, that might be like frustrating for me. If I have to tell it like, oh no, back it up like 30 or 300 milliseconds. This actually makes it so much easier. You can just like plop this. Well, I think you actually have to plop this over like here somewhere. And then like what that'll do is circle it. And like some of them are videos too. So I thought that was really cool. Wanted to share that. And then these transitions are really easy. So like you see how like right here and here, there's clear, like I think I went in here manually and like split these 2 things up. You can grab one of these transitions, maybe like stack swap. I just downloaded it and now let's put it on this one. So now let's watch. Is this interesting?
Don't like doing that.
I stumbled upon this project and I don't hate it, but I think there was some overlap in the talking. I think that while it was merging them, it did that. But like you can experiment and play around with these. I highly recommend checking it out. I think it adds production value and it's really like easy to just pull these things in. I mean, I'm still new to making videos and all that, but like, it's fun. I would say that if you want to get into doing this stuff, like you got to find the fun in it, because like if this is something that is a drag and you don't want to get into, you might spend like 4 to 8 hours on a video that gets like 10 views. What you took away and learned from it is more valuable than anything. So anyways, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.